My favorite thing ever, someone asked me about housing. Excuse my everything. I'm kind of a little sick right now, but I have free time, so I'm here to help you guys. I went online and I was like searching different articles, and I ended up finding this article from We Heart LA or something like that. I'll post a link below. It kind of like reminded me of my situation, and I feel like it could help you guys out as well. The first one was starting your apartment hunt too early. This definitely was something that I necessarily did, and I felt like it was needed because I was moving from this small little cow town. I originally was going to move out here with one of my coworkers at Gap, but it didn't really work out. We were originally looking at like a house, and then we were looking at apartments, and it all kind of came down to, like the owner would say, or the manager of the apartment complex would end up saying, contact me a week before you want to move in, or maybe you should come out here and check it out, and then you can sign the lease then. Like, there was always something to do with time. They're like the type of person who, like, no matter who I talked to when I came out here, like, they wanted you to move in like basically tomorrow if you were to be accepted for this apartment like today. It's a very fast-paced type of move in, and it's kind of interesting because this article on We Like LA mentioned that while other cities like New York City would, take a while, and you would want to plan in advance and get your home or your apartment in advance, LA, they're very quick. They want to sell out. They want, they want their place to be booked, and they want their place to be rented out. So it's definitely one of those things where you kind of have to know your budget, and you have to go in kind of ready to go and able to just say yes or no to the apartment like that day. Location is definitely something very important about living out here and moving to this environment. I would say probably the biggest mistake that I made when I first moved out here was I was looking all in like downtown LA, kind of Silver Lake area, and I was looking at these like crazy places. Like, I remember most of the places I found off of Craigslist too. I remember going to this one place, and I was literally hutched climbing like up the stairs, and the kitchen was like a hot mess. Like, there's no way I was going to stay in this place. And he was trying to convince me to rent out this room it was really awesome, to be honest, because it was like at an angle and it kind of looked like an attic type area. But to pay $700 to live in this tiny little hole was so unrealistic. And it was like in a really bad area, and he was saying how I might have to park my car like down the street a couple blocks at this random place overnight, and who knows if my car will get broken into or not. It just wasn't worth it. I remember I was driving all over town checking out places when I first moved here, and I finally settled when I met this guy named Philippe. The reason why I settled with him is because it was $825, and that included utilities. It also came with a parking space in the parking garage below us, and I also had my own bedroom. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, so I had my own bathroom as well. It was like probably like the most dreamiest, that's not even a word, but it was like the most dreamiest place to move into, at least for my first apartment ever, especially by myself. And it was definitely interesting, but it's one of those things where you have to like keep looking all day. I feel like I probably could have found something a little cheaper and maybe even found a girl roommate if I would have stuck it out and continued looking, although I had a mission and I had like literally 2 days to find an apartment, or else I was going to be homeless when I first moved here. Now, places definitely are not going to be all first come, first serve. You may think that it's first come, first serve because, you have to fill out the application and you have to go through the process and, it's yada yada, whatever. Basically, we got this place here because someone ended up being like a smoker or something like that, and he like liked our attitude and our our personality. And by law, if they don't have the deposit down, then the manager has to continue showing the place. And we got lucky and we got this place because we walked in and we were like instantly in love. $625 each, and it's just like I couldn't ask for a better apartment, to be honest. But it's definitely not first come, first serve everywhere, and I would recommend still checking out places and just not giving up hope. So one of my biggest concerns, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is I'm not the greatest parker. When it comes to street parking, I am not a huge fan of it. So when I'm looking for an apartment, I was always looking for a place where I can be able to park my car safely and know that overnight I won't get broken into. If you are looking at an apartment and you know that it's only street parking, my recommendation would to be able to check out like what sides of the street are no parking, what sides of the streets have street cleaning, what days, what times, will that time or day work with your schedule. And just pretty much know your area. And if it's going to be like an overly packed area, are you sure you want to live a place where you're going to be fighting for parking or having to walk for miles to get to your apartment? I mean, it could be raining one day. You could have to just run to the house real quickly. And is it really going to be worth it to, drive around and possibly get parking tickets all the time? So that's definitely something that you need to consider if you're thinking about moving out here. You may be thinking that you're the only applicant applying to the apartment. The manager may sucker you into thinking that you're the only person, and there could be others that have already applied. Based off from credit or renting history or just your personality, it could completely challenge the way that you are accepted into an apartment or not. My recommendation is to apply to multiple places. Yes, it kind of sucks because you're putting down an application fee, and because you're putting down that application fee, it kind of adds up. So sometimes it'll be $10, sometimes $25, sometimes $20, depends on the manager and the apartment complex and or housing complex. I would definitely recommend to apply to multiple places because you never really know, if you're going to get that place or not. It's on the safe side. Not all homes are going to come with appliances. This apartment did not come with a refrigerator. My refrigerator story is a nightmare, and if you're my friend, you totally understand why I had that nightmare experience with my refrigerator. Long story short, I went to an appliance store, bought a refrigerator. It didn't show up. They said that they delivered it, but they didn't. When we finally got it, it broke down after a week of using it. I had 30 days to return and exchange it. They finally came out to fix it, and we literally did not have a refrigerator for multiple days because this appliance company was just so terrible. So my recommendation is to buy a refrigerator from Sears or Walmart or Target or something. Do not rely on these mom and pop stores that fix refrigerators, because my experience was terrible. And like I said, not all appliances are going to come with appliances, so make sure that you know if you're going to need to go out and buy an appliance or if it already comes with it. How many people you're sharing a room with and the distance that you're driving is my biggest concern, at least when I was moving in, because am I going to get along with these people? And also, is the distance from my apartment to school or to work or to the places that I know that I'm going to want to be able to hang out with or hang out at, are these places, the distance wise, is it worth driving this much? Am I going to want to put more money into my housing so I can save my drive time, or am I going to put more money into my gas tank and more miles on my car to pay less rent? Me personally, I chose to live closer to school because I rather put the extra $100 into my house rather than putting extra miles and extra gas and being stuck in traffic longer by living further back. So I found my apartment with my roommate by walking up and down the street. We actually found this one on Craigslist, but it was a different room. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but unfortunately that was rented out by 2 other girls. So when we were turned away for that, we literally walked up and down the street calling all these different apartment complexes, asking their availability, and then we ended up getting lucky and being told he had a 1-bedroom, and we're kind of best friends, so it kind of worked out that we can share the room. And our apartment's huge and beautiful, so I mean the space is nothing, like it's seriously no problem at all. We got so lucky. But I would recommend walking up and down the streets, because then you'll be able to see the neighborhood that you're living in. You'll be able to feel if you're comfortable or not leaving your car there and being able to walk up and down there. If you feel safe enough to walk up and down the street, then you're probably good to go to live on that street. Apartment hunting can definitely be stressful, and it could be something that you may even fight over with your roommate. I know my roommate and I, we had a lot of tension because we had certain needs when we first wanted to move in. Like we wanted wood floors, and we wanted a pool, parking, and be able to have a washer and dryer to wash our clothes. We of course had to say no to a few things. Like we have carpet now instead of wood floors, which kind of sucks because we're gonna have to do the carpet cleaning before we move out. There was also the noise. We live close to a freeway, so you're hearing cars pass by, you're hearing ambulance pass by. We're so close to the Burbank airport that you literally hear airplanes and aircraft flying by. To be honest, I don't regret it at all. Our apartment is awesome, and it's it feels kind of good to know that this is my place, this is my home. Don't give up hope. And know that when you finally do have your place and you're settled in, you're gonna take a look around and be like, wow, this is my place. It's kind of crazy. If you need help finding any locations, if you want to know what towns or spots are closest to the school, please hit me up, let me know, and I'll help you out. Have fun and good luck.